Hello, everybody, and welcome to our sixth module webinar on protecting client money, client assets. This is essentially the CASS rules. My name's Steve Fairclough. Let me give you a brief overview of the entire program before we drill into what we're going to cover in this first module. Today, we're going to be looking at some general principles that underpin why this is so important, why it's high on the regulatory agenda, and then into the meats. Really, we've got CASS 7 and CASS 6, client money, client assets. And CASS 7 we've called on, although there'll be elements there replicated through some of the other chapters around looking after client money, particularly the relatively recently new application to electronic money firms and payment service providers. But module 3, we'll look at custody assets and some of the different rhythms around reconciliations for those. Modules 4, 5, and 6 will cover off some additional CASS chapters, looking at when you have a mandate, and that's quite different to what people normally perceive as a mandate, the information we have to give to clients. And then all of module 5 is going to focus on the resolution pack, which is a really critical tool introduced after the need for it was identified when firms failed and didn't have the right records. We'll wrap this six module program up with a look at the governance that's expected to be implemented and executed operationally within firms, and looking at what the auditors are expected to do when they complete their mandatory CASS audit. So really broad, covers a whole lot of stuff, obviously moving beyond introduction level across these 30-minute or so on average modules. Okay, today though we're going to focus just on the initial kind of introduction to the topic. We'll look at background and purpose, and as a former regulator myself, why it was so high on our regulatory agenda, and some of the key principles to underpin the rest of the modules. And we're including paying away money when we've been careless and lost our clients. We don't know who they are, where they are. Then what do we do with that money? The rules allow us to pay that away, typically to charities as well. So we'll wrap up with that one.